Hey, hi everyone. How's it going? Hope everyone had a good weekend. We'll get started very soon for this week's trading outlook. We'll take a look at the major markets and then we'll go from there. Um, if you're live, feel free to post anything you're looking at for the week, and I can take a look. Hey, Rolando, nice to see you. Nice to see you, Diego. Nice to see you. So let's get started. So in the order, I will go through currency first. I'll talk about currency, commodity, indices, and I'll leave crypto last. And that's the order that I am going to be doing the outlook. So if you have anything you're looking at, you can let me know while the market is going on, and then we'll take it from there. So dollar Swiss, yep, that is something I'll go over. So let's start with currency here first. I'll go over a couple ones that are looking pretty good, and then we'll take it from there and ask me any questions. So, so let's get started. Nice to see familiar guys. Dollar index. Let's talk about dollar index. We still see this is the last area that price is reacting to, right? And if we look closely here on lower time frame, remember I talk about when we saw this move push up, remember I said sometimes it might form into a deeper correction, an expanding one. This is pretty much exactly that, right? If we look at what price has been doing, we made that push to the upside, but then we kind of get rejected into this correction now, and we're pushing down now. So is this a continuation correction for this move? And we're seeing that this is a continuation for the longer move, and we're just going to further get weaknesses on the dollar. That is kind of what we're seeing right now. And paying attention to what's going on here will give us a good edge or a good point to look for further dollar weakness and pretty much on all other dollar pair as well for them to potentially have more weakness. And again, higher time frame, we're watching out this key area, which is a potential double bottom that price can be at. And we just want to see what would happen if this move just kind of continue push to this low and then reevaluate to see what the lower time frame is doing in this area. And we can kind of make our plans when that happens, right? We don't need to second guess. We don't need to, have to guess where it's going. But lower time frame wise, that is what's showing us for now, and then reevaluate when higher time frame hits. Okay, so that's dollar index, and let's look at a few dollar pairs that I think could be potential. So Aussie dollar, again, we talk about that potential bullish continuation, right? We see this push to the upside, and I talk about if this flag completes, we're likely to see another push out from the price. And if we just zoom out a little bit on the higher time frame, now all you have to watch out for is this previous top, which is a potential double top, right? We have this kind of formation, and there was a previous double top here, M style pattern for the price to move down. So price likely to react to this top, and we'll kind of just take a look at the lower time frame. Lower time frame, it is clear that we have this kind of a flag structure and the price pushed to the upside. Was there a correction here? It's very hard to really point out, but nevertheless, we see a continuation for the price, right? We see this push out, there's a continuation, and we're pushing to the upside further. So I do expect these couple of dollars will get further weakness, and Aussie and Kiwi pairs will continue to get strength. And we'll go over a few Aussie and Kiwi as well. But that is what I see on Aussie dollar for now because I do like this simple price action that it's showing, right? We can't deny that. Those of you who've been with me for a while, you know that I was looking for a potential sell actually when prices in this area. And I always said if we see this breakout continuation, we have to accept that what is the market telling us. We shouldn't have egos to think that we have to hold our short analysis. If the price doesn't give us that short analysis or bias, then we have to change our perspective based on what the price is showing and looking like we're a continuation now. So My approach is simple. We break this previous high, which is what I said last week or previous week. So can we get further continuation? And we're just likely to continue higher. That is very simple, right? We see these kind of price action all the time. When you have impulsive phrase, continuation phrase, we break out of that consolidation phrase. And then if we break this previous high, if there's any more continuation, we have a very good higher probability that it will continue to the upside. So I will keep my eye watch on this. I think this is pretty decent, judging based on what the higher time it has been doing, right? I always like to see when we have a bearish impulse down and a reversal impulse up, right? Forming kind of a inverse head and shoulder on the higher time frame, and we just continue pushing up. There is just bullish price action confirmation here that this correction give us, and this breaks out and then still have some room to the top. I do expect price to hit this top at least, and then reevaluate to see, similar like dollar index, are we gonna get corrective price action to reverse, or are we just going to break that level and then continue higher as well? All right, so that is Aussie dollar. Do I have Instagram page? I do have Instagram page here. Yen, I will look at that. I always lose either buy or sell. That it's not you, my friend. It's you're relatively new, like you said, right? So it just takes time to understand risk management, trading plan, etc. Right? Of course, anybody in the beginning they will obviously lose in trading, but they have to get better, right? That's how we work on our analysis. We work on trading to get better. Some stocks today, I could add those in. Okay, I will talk about that. I don't mind doing those, but it's going to be later on though. Later on after I finish a few markets. So rewatch that if you can't stay through all that, but I will go over those. I'll go over those. I have some time today, so let's continue. So we'll talk about dollar Swiss. Dollar Swiss really same approach like dollar index. It's almost similar. It's that dollar index are actually completing the structure a little bit more. But I think dollar Swiss looking like something could happen here. Can we get something like a ascending channel to break down? I still kind of look at this as a head and shoulder that could be developing. Again, similar like dollar index. And for now, I'm still holding kind of a bearish bias because we push down, we have a correction, and then we break down lower. This, of course, can continue, and then if it breaks this high, and then if it breaks this high with continuation, then looking like this kind of doesn't, it invalidates this current correction. But this is why price action, we're not 100% sure what's going to happen here because this part of the correction is not finished yet. We can see either possibilities, and I'm not interested to kind of take a trade or anything if I'm seeing potential conflicting bias. Higher time frame wise, though, it does look good because we're pushing down now, right? We push down, we break this previous low, and looking like there is a continuation correction in the making. From a higher time frame, just solely perspective, is that this is a kind of a strong bearish push down. Whether or not it gets just a simple correction to go lower or a deeper correction, I do see that being a little bit more probable when that comes to something like this, and continuation could be inevitable. But lower time frame, it's a little bit not sure at this point, so I would wait to see a little bit more development in this last piece of the price. So, do I think dollar weakness will affect SPY/QQ? Yeah, usually they're somewhat correlated. Um, in my opinion, when I see dollar weakness, right? This is dollar weakness, right? When we see dollar weakness, usually we're gonna see indices going higher, right? We're going to go see higher like this, right? So that's why I see when you see dollar index is going down, usually the indices are going up, right? So they're kind of negative correlated in my opinion. No worries, no worries. So let's continue. I don't really have, I do want to talk about pound dollar a little bit. This is probably the only one that is potentially showing something different. And I want to point out this because I know a lot of us are, a lot of us, a lot of you guys usually ask me about pound dollar, and usually I'm not too interesting because of this previous price action. But what I'm seeing here, this latest bit of the price is potentially something, and I wanted to point out because if we just solely look at this last bit of the price, and when it start getting into this consolidation kind of channel, um, price is somewhat erratic. You know, there's a lot of people looking for sell, but they're not really going anywhere. In my opinion, it didn't really form anything structurally that to give us a little bit more confirmation. I like this latest bit of the price because this is pretty uniform. This is typically what we see on a lower time frame ascending channel, right? When we go through a lot of different price or different market, we want to see this, right? We want to see a structure within the larger structure. This is what multi-time frame analysis help us to look for a better confirmation. Whereas in my opinion, these cells are more just reversal kind of candles or reversal price, but they're not like structure like this, which is slowly forming to something here. This is why I think if we get a bearish push out from here, so completing this ascending channel, top of this larger channel here, are we going to get continuation and then just push out the price? Remember, when all this price happening, I wasn't too interested unless I see a confirmation breakout and then confirmation correction to go. But what I like about it, this is why as price develop more, you can slowly see more confluence on your side because once you start seeing something like this, rather than just reversal candles or people trying to short here, or whatever, you start seeing structure here, which is the first sign of lower time frame reversal, right? A higher time frame is not yet reversal, but in order for a higher time frame to reverse, the lower time frame needs to reverse first. So what we get here, again, not confirmed yet, right? We want to see a little bit more development. If it's going to stretch out a little bit longer, good. But if it's breaking down, then I think continuation here, a head and shoulder, and this could be definitely a first sell opportunity. Let's see price can break out, and then if we get continuation, that will be the best, right? That will be the best to continue this. Okay, so I do want to point this out because I do have some bias on the pound pairs looking bearish as well. I mean, pound Kiwi, I'm going to talk about pound Aussie as well. I think they could look pretty decent for a bearish move. And again, this all depends on if this correction finishes. This is the key here is this is clearly a consolidation phase. This is clearly a correction, right? So we know that these type of correction, they have a higher probability of playing out when they finish. But when do they finish exactly? We're not 100% sure, right? We can't just be looking for the top every time when they see bearish candles. We have to confirm with price action. We have to confirm with multi-time frame analysis. And most importantly is waiting for a bearish confirmation that will give us the better sell or better, safer sell. At least you see this happen and you know that that's enough confirmation the price can give you and looking for the sell like, wait, all right, so that is pound dollar. Euro Aussie, I will go over. I'll go over crypto after, of course. So bear with me, guys. Like I said, I have to go through all the markets. So let's move on to a few. I'm gonna go a little bit faster now. Let's go. Let's go through a few Aussie pairs and yen pairs. Aussie pair is very similar like Aussie CAD, right? Aussie dollar, right? This is Aussie CAD now. So we break this previous high and price impulse with the continuation correction very clearly, right? We originally, again, I was looking for a potential reversal from this point, but now that we break the price impulsively. That is how I'm changing my view on it because looking like price is just having a bullish impulse. This is a continuation flag and we're breaking out now and we're breaking above this previous high once again. So expect same thing as Aussie dollar. If we form continuation, I do expect this to continue higher, at least to the next high here, and then wait to see what will happen when the price reach that area. Again, price impulsively break out, right? Correction, impulse, breakout, and looking like we can continue further. Reversal impulses is what I'm seeing on most of these Aussie pairs. And We have the sharp move down from COVID eventually since February 2020, and then price pretty much bullishly recover most of that after. So it's going to be very similar like Aussie Swiss as well. You can see Aussie Swiss bearish impulse down from COVID, and then bullish in reversal impulse followed by continuation. And then we're breaking out now, which is good. Again, similar price action. Impulse on the lower time frame, continuation correction flag, and then we're breaking above this previous high. So same thing, same approach. We're breaking this previous high now very impulsively. Great. Look for continuation. We're going to continue higher to the next top now. That is what I'm seeing here. Inverse head and shoulder on a higher time frame as well. Very good confluence to continue the bullish reversal. We can see price has been dropping down all this time, but this latest move to drop down, this was pretty much the lowest point. I don't think there's, unless there's older data, so I'm not seeing any lower than this, which is a good thing, is that we just break that all-time low and price impulsively break up continuation. Expect this to continue higher if the bullish strength continues. So I will be definitely looking for these ones. Again, they're going to be very similar shaping up, so I'm not going to take all of them, right? Remember risk management. So I'm focusing on a few Aussie pair if they develop good and just jump into one or two. Let's look at a few yen pairs now. So Aussie yen, knowing that Aussie are bullish now and yens are getting weakness, we have to see what the price is doing, right? Again, Aussie pairs getting bullish now, right? Similar price action, right? Reversal impulse, correction, impulse, lower time frame continuation. We're pushing out now. This is the previous high to watch out for. And then if we can see price break above this previous high, then expect same thing, right? Continuation to go. I like the higher time frame now that we clearly see this as a reversal, right? This is like that V-shaped kind of recovery. We see that in stocks, in indices, and now we're seeing this in Forex as well. So again, inverse head and shoulder on the higher time frame, great. Break above this. Let's see if we can continue higher and higher. Price has been much higher before as well. Every time we see a market crash, price tends to recover after in time. So I expect the same thing here. I'd look for these lower time frame. I think there's a few lower time frame set up. I personally didn't get any of these. I got it on pound Kiwi, but I didn't want to take too many of the similar positions at once, so I stick to pound Kiwi. But looking at the price action here, impulse correction, impulse, right? We break out, correction after breakout, great kind of entries to look for, and then we continue to upside. So if you're in this trade, just look for what the price will do when we reach this previous high. And if it breaks the previous high, then look for more continuation would be nice. So that is Aussie yen. Let's talk about a few other yen pairs because they can all be shaping up bullishly, so losing more strength, more weakness in yen segment. So look at CAD yen here. Originally, again, I was looking for sales, right? When I see this potential top in the area, but no bearish price action or develop further to confirm that, then we have to see what the price it is. We're seeing this bullish breakout now, right? We're seeing kind of a larger, higher time frame descending channel. And if this is a double bottom to correcting the price, then this is an impulse correction, and we're basically impulsing out now. So the previous double top or previous bearish kind of price action is no longer valid. Okay, so what I'm seeing here on the lower time frame now, this is that correction we're seeing. We break out. There was a correction here to continue the price. And I remember we were all talking about this in Telegram as well. So I'm not sure if any of you guys take it, but I do see that it is a continuation correction and we're breaking out now. If we see here on the lower time frame, looks like we could develop something like this, and this could be a potential buy to continue upwards. Uh, we're approaching to a previous high. This is a previous high. This is also a previous double top for this price to reverse pretty much happened during COVID. So this is an area, again, I will be watching out for. You can see that there's an M style pattern, double top, ascending channel leading to the top. So This should be an area to watch out for if you're in the trade. But the same thing is if we can see price breaks it impulsively followed by more correction, then this is so much significant now because we just break this double top area and we break it up impulsively. If we see the higher time frame strength behind us, descending channel, a reversal and impulse, correction impulse, all of this descending channel and this previous top, we can potentially see more continuation to the next high here. Most of these are area that I want to just be a little bit more cautious focusing on. I don't want to jump the gun because I can see that price could just be reversing when I hit those significant area with double top or double bottom, depending on what pair you're looking at. And I just think a little bit more patient on our side would be more ideal. We don't need to rush this and we don't need to jump into this yet. Okay. So let's continue. I do want to talk about Euro Aussie now. So Euro Aussie. Someone asked about Euro Aussie earlier. Hey, by the way, nice of you guys to join. I see some of the newer faces. Nice to see you guys. So Euro Aussie looks. You asked about broke the higher time frame bullish trend line. I personally see this is what I see on Euro Aussie now, and I see just further bearish potential now. Um, This is on the higher time frame. Again, this is very similar like Aussie Swiss. We talked about Aussie Swiss just now, right? So it's just pretty much inverse of it. You have a bullish push to the upside. This is from COVID. And then we have a bearish push down, bearish continuation, looking like we're breaking lower and lower now. So these are just kind of the area, again, you want to watch out for because this is kind of the previous swing low area, right? This is where price had a double bottom and kind of push up. So I would watch out for what happens here, but same idea as if we break below it and continue downwards, then I do expect this to continue all the way to the lows here, which is the beginning of this current correction that the price is in. If we go down to the lower time frame here, we have been dropping, right? We was trying to form something here. You can tell it was trying to form a descending channel, and I think we talked about this last week, and I said it's a little bit more conflicting. I didn't want to call the bottom or call the top yet. So let's see the price if we can just break out of this correction and continue, right? This is why forecasting is really important because we forecast a potential reversal from this double bottom with this descending channel. But if price doesn't break up and then continue with the correction on the lower time frame, no entry for us, right? We don't jump in the gun. We don't start buying here because we think we're gonna reverse, right? No fear of missing out, guys. That's the key in trading. Do not have FOMO in this case. So once we see price dropping down now, if we just have to look at what the price is doing all this time, is that this is still a correction for this move and looking like this is just one big impulsive phrase pushing to the downside. So I would really watch out for, again, this key area here, what the price will do. Is very close to this area now. So really no buy or sell at this point. If you're not going to sell here if you didn't get it on the sell here. So they're definitely just waiting for price to break out and continue. That's one thing. Or if it corrects deeper like this, then potentially look for the confirmation breakout. But because it's getting so close to this area already, I really wouldn't jump into any trade now. I definitely do favor a bearish bias, but it's just that we see price reverse after this kind of move down many times as well. So that's why I want to wait for a little bit more development. That will give us a little bit more edge to enter anything like that. So any question? If not, let's continue to a couple pound pairs. I want to talk about pound pairs because I am in pound Kiwi and want to talk about pound Aussie as well. So if we look at pound Aussie on a higher time frame, if we just look at solely what this piece of the price is doing, this is a sharp bearish impulse down. We follow by a kind of a channel or flag correction for a really long time, pretty much 4 years or so. And this latest bit of the price We have a sandy channel pushing up and then a sharp impulse breaking out of this channel. So already higher time frame to me is bearish, right? We're seeing a potential continuation. And what the price is doing this last bit is also very interesting because it's in a correction phase now, right? It's not going anywhere. It's in a correction. So what I would do for is obviously going down to the lower time frame to confirm what we're seeing here on the higher time frame. Because I do want to see more further downside, but we want to confirm if the price is ready when we look at the lower time frame. So this is the higher time frame push now, and we begin to start forming something here. This is this last bit of the price where it should be very interesting, is that we're in a consolidation phase. This is clearly not a impulsive phase, which we usually see in the market. This is in a corrective phase. You can see price does make into a deeper correction. And what I like about this is there's a potential completion of this structure already, right? We have at least few swing highs and few swing lows. And if this is a bearish impulse down and we form continuation here, looking like what we're doing here, reason double top, potentially a expanding structure within this larger expanding structure, again, structure within structures, and look for a lower time frame continuation. This is what I'm looking for on pound Kiwi as well. If we break down and then we consolidate a little bit longer, forming a bearish kind of price action, and I would be looking for a sell as well. I like the potential risk reward. We're just about halfway through this correction here. So expect price to eventually reach this low, and I want to potential capitalize on this if I can get a good decent sell setup from this point downwards. The lower time frame, let's go down to lower time frame here. Something is forming here, right? We had what I like about it. This is what I always see is when you have a move up, right? When you have a strong push to the upside, and if it's not followed by any correction, it's not even followed by a reversal correction. Usually we want to see impulse up, reversal correction, and then we bring down the price. Instead, we just pretty much just a sharp decline, so pretty much a reversal impulse without really seeing a reversal correction. This just shows you that the strong momentum is controlled by the bearish momentum now, and if we get continuation here, we're just likely to go even further. So I will be keeping on this. I do see the risk reward, even just an entry here. I think it's pretty good if you potentially look for an entry, something like this. Um, Even just looking to the lows here, you could get about 4.5 or something, depending on your stop loss or whatever. But I do like this move, even just to the lows here, and potentially breaking out of this higher time frame. This is why multi-time frame analysis is so important. Is that we forecast this potential higher time frame move, and you enter at the lower time frame, so you're getting in at the best potential risk reward. And if this is going to be the next move breaking out now, you're just going to maximize your potential return. If it breaks out, you can potentially get back in with more continuation correction and push down the price even further. Okay, and this is why we be patient and wait for a good higher time frame setup and enter at the lower time frame, so it's going to give you the maximum risk reward, right? We're being patient because of this. All right, so yeah, I'll go over those crypto for sure, guys. Use incognito for streaming. Is it faster? Really? That's good to know. I appreciate that. I never tried incognito, by the way. But if that's faster, I definitely should give that a try. So last one I'm gonna go over is pound Kiwi for Forex. This is a trade I took last week. This is the only trade I took last week actually, and we talk about this in the trade recap video. If you didn't watch that, make sure you tune into that one. That I explain why I enter and everything. So what I see here now is, can we get continuation here? This is what we see is you have a lower time frame ascending channel within this higher time frame kind of a channel or wedge from this bearish impulse. So naturally we're expecting the next bearish impulse. So I really like these kind of structure. You have all the different time frame, multi-time frame analysis working for you, working in your favor, so to speak. So impulse, all of this larger, higher time frame correction, potentially a correction in the making, and lower time frame, all these positive bearish kind of confluence. So what I want to look for is a lower time frame correction. We break out this ascending channel, great. And then can we get some sort of correction here? It's stalling here, which is exactly what I want to see is pressed stalling here. And if we get some sort of correction here in the making, I would consider some sort of scaling positions as long as I can set my first trade to break even or at 1% profit and looking for a similar potential target. My main target is going to always be the beginning of this correction. So this second scale in position, potentially, if I can get a good stop loss in, potentially 6 to 1. And if I hold this initial position down to the bottom here, I think it's about 8 to 1 or so. So that is my plan on this. Always have a plan, always have a management before you enter a trade so you don't get emotion decisions. So let's see what happens here in the, I guess in the Asian session, it's very likely to be pretty much just correcting this area, and then hopefully in London sessions or so, we get a good correction to come and look for further sell opportunities. Incognito is lightning, yeah, good. Pound yen, sure. I was looking at pound yen, but really didn't make my watch this. Well, first because a couple yen pairs I'm looking at is bullish. Pound yen, of course, can choose to follow pound or follow yen, and in this case, if pound dollar is potentially could have this bearish move, and we just went over a couple pound pairs, and pound yen could potentially have this bearish as well. And I do agree something can happen here, right? This is a double top in the area. Again, remember when we talk about double top, we need confirmation. It's not just some candle rejecting the double top, that area, it becomes an automatic sell. That's not what we do. We want to see what lower time frame does, lower time frame price action to give us more confluence for that potential reversal. But if we zoom out on the higher time frame, we are at this potential top. It's definitely a good valid or area to be looking for a reversal. What I personally see is that because all these lower time frame push up are pretty strong, if we look at this, we have the impulsively pushing up the price. This can eventually turn into a bigger correction and still continue, right? Remember, double top doesn't mean it has to reject. It's an area we watch out for potential reversal price action if that's going to happen. But if we just see bullish price action breaking above it, just like a couple other Aussie pairs we talk about, then it's time to understand that we can potentially get onto a bullish price action. Okay, and this is right sitting at this area now where I really would advise to wait a lot more patient to see what will happen, because something here right now on the lower time frame isn't clear what it's doing, right? I can try to draw a structure here, but it isn't really a complete structure. We don't know what's happening here. This can form into a reversal structure or they can go into a continuation. It's not clear yet, right? So when it's not clear yet, we don't need to guess, right? We don't need to have a bias, have to call it up or down. You don't have to. It's about waiting for price action to develop a little bit further, and then look for the confluence that's going to give you a better edge to go or a better edge to sell. Okay, so that is what I see on pound yen. I think that is it. We finished talking about pound kiwi, right? So that is what's going on right now for pound Kiwi. The only trade I took last week, and like I said, I might look for a scaling here and then see how price would do when we break out, possibly even getting something like this as well. British pound starting to drop now. Well, we can see what happened, right? That's why we wait for confirmations. So expanding structure, are they continuation or they can be reversal structure? They can be both Amadas. So if I pronounce that right, they can be both. And I'm gonna make a video about this. The reason why I haven't made the video on expanding structure is because it's more advanced, right? More advanced to go over. So I want to prepare a better video to present that. So nice to see you, Happiness. Have a good night, man. Crypto, please. That's where the excitement. I'm wrapping up the currency here, guys. Let me give you a second here. So that is it. Any other question? Let me know. Otherwise, we're gonna jump to commodities. We're gonna touch base on silver and gold really quick before we move on to crypto and things like that. I'm sure some of you guys are also looking at gold. So let's take a look at gold. Gold to me again is still consolidating in this halfway of this larger correction. So as I always my plan, I've been talking about this for a couple of weeks, right? I've been talking about a potential move down to the lows and then see what price will do at this potential double bottom or bottom of the structure here, looking for a reversal. My bias is certainly bullish, right? We've been in this bullish trend forever. So this is just a bullish continuation correction to correct this move and continue higher, right? So this is what I see here is my bias is still going to be a higher time frame buy, and that's why I'm not interested in any lower time frame sell. I want to see price to push down lower and potentially look for a potential buy, whether here or here when we break out the higher time frame structure. Really doesn't matter because I'm going to buy it and hold it for longer term once I see price breaks this previous high. I might even looking for more scaling positions. High coverage to me it just looks clear that we're going to continue. You're seeing this potential scoop formation. We see this a lot in crypto as well, which I'll go over after. Price breaks all-time high. After that, we start forming a potential continuation. We're not in a bearish move, nor we're in a bullish move. We're in a correctional phase. And after seeing the strong bullish push to the upside, it's very clear that this is going to give us a higher probability for a bullish outlook. Okay, that's my bias still for now. I still see the higher time frame wise going to continue to the upside once we complete this structure here. So that's what I see on gold. So like I said, I don't mind waiting to see the price push down, but I want to see what happens at the bottom here for looking for potential reversals. And that's about it. Silver, I can quickly touch base on because I want to update this still periodically because I'm still looking for a potential buy for a long term. It's all about what happens in this latest bit of the price. We be in this whole decline already. It's very similar like gold, right? Gold already break all-time high potentially in this area. Silver is just much behind, but it's similar price action what we have seen. Okay, so this is a strong bullish push to the upside. I want to wait for a solid continuation. If we break out, continue, that would be great. Or if lower time frame, again, move one more push to the downside and then start reversing this point. I'm looking for a buy here as well. Looking very good because I see the similar price action. I like how this bullish move is very in depth. We haven't seen any that kind of strong impulses for a while. So certainly has good mirror here to continue to the upside. US 30. US 30 I'll go over after. All the indices I'll go over after. So target on gold, at least all-time high, if not higher, right? If we get good price action to continue. You would be looking for, when price breaks out, look for the first high, look for price to break above and continue higher, right? Really no target. It's similar like crypto, right? We're already at all-time high when we break this kind of price action. So if it breaks all-time high, expect to continue higher. So let's move on to crypto. Seems like you guys are looking at crypto. So why don't we go crypto first and then I'll go indices after. I don't know if you guys got into Cardano, but I personally got into Cardano. I got into Cardano. So I exited my Cardano position already. But I'll look for further scaling positions. I've been talking about this from the beginning, right? We get in this sell from all the way from the bottom here. We break to the upside, we form continuation correction, and then price impulsively break to the upside, right? And it was always within my plan to exit the trade at $1 here. Made a full weekly trade recap video on my trading view in Telegram. Make sure you watch that. That will explain all my trades for taking this last week, anyways. But my plan was always wait for correction to break this previous high, right? We talk about breaking the previous high, and if we can get a continuation here, something that price is likely to do here now, I will look to get back into a trade because that's another confirmation for me. We impulsively break above that previous high and lower time frame continuation form again, something like this, or something like this. Looking for further buying opportunities, looking for price to eventually hit the all-time high. So similar scoop formation, we talk about that in gold and silver. Initial incline, decline, a period consolidation, and then pricing pushed up again. So definitely see this breaks this all-time high and continue higher. Most of the cryptos are just following Bitcoin anyways after it breaks all-time high. So I do see the same in all different markets, especially these rising cryptos that we're about to take a look. Any suggestions on high and lows of gold? Well, we just have to wait, right? There's nothing yet. This is what potentially could happen. Okay, what potentially can happen, but this is why we draw the structure. But we also know that we're not, the trend lines are just there to tell you how the price is. Doesn't have to react, doesn't have to bounce off this trend line perfectly and go. It could just break the trend line but still continue upwards. But the overall structure is the same, right? Impulse, correction, impulse. So when we understand that price action and market is never perfect, we're just trying to uh, point out the key factors that we're usually going to see from a structure point of view, and then look to execute for better potential entry. So move down to the lows is good, but if it just continue breaking above this high, form a continuation, I will take this buy as well. Similar idea. Going over Cardano, let's talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the trade I'm holding for long term, so I'm in two Bitcoin trades still. Just not much else to update except that we're just in a massive bullish trend, right? We have been pushing up ever since already, so I really don't expect all these bearish things that people talk about unless I see bearish price action to form. But really, we have not been seeing that since the bottom, right? We've been going up massively already. So I don't expect anything except just a deeper correction. If it's deeper, I'm going to hold the coins anyways. I'm going to hold it for long term. I already got in at the best position once we broke that previous all-time high and 20,000 level. And I hold through this correction as well. So certainly don't mind holding through another correction if it's going to form. Um, how I would People always ask me how I would look for a bearish reversal is that even if I see a sharp move down, I don't think that's a bearish reversal. You see these bearish move down like this, bearish move down like this. You have to understand how the price gets there. When we get there impulsively, naturally price needs to correct and then continue upward. So all these bearish move, if it's not followed by bearish continuation, it's really not showing us much. It's the same thing here, even if we're going to see some sort of sharp move downside. But if it's not formed by continuation to push down lower, if it just push down and push up like something like this, then you know that there's a deeper consolidation in the making. It's good that the price is doing that because it's likely to continue to the upside. Small retracement, it's hard to tell, right? Because we already see so many small corrections here already, right? You see all these are buy opportunities. If those of you guys who trade Bitcoins, these are all simple buy opportunities. Ever since we break all-time high, when I said look for a continuation, all these are continuation. I got it on this continuation once we break the all-time high, but in my opinion, all these are a continuation as well. So either expect something like this, a deeper correction, because there's a potential low here, or we're just going to continue higher with smaller correction to continue. right? Which is what we have been all this time. Yep, so that is it for Bitcoin. Not much to update here. We just have been in a massive bullish trend, right? So, not much to update unless we see further bearish opportunity, bearish price action. Then we will obviously focus on it more. But so far, nothing screams bearish to me. Everything is screaming bullish to me. All these small corrections that we have been seeing, it's just a clear indication that we're just going to be in a full-on bullish trend. Okay, so let's move on to other ones here. I do have a couple more to go over, or quite a bit, because most of them are doing pretty well. Most of them are pretty good bullish kind of price action. I do want to talk about Dogecoin because it seems to be the topic of everyone, and I do still see potential out of this. Um, we just have to see how the price gets there, guys. All during this time, this is a period of nothing, right? We see all that, and then this is the initial incline, super massive bullish push to upside, and then we retrace, and then still impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse, and this is just a larger flag, larger channel in the making. This is still a correction correcting this move, right? You rather see a correction rather than just a flat out push down from the price, then that is telling you there's no more bullish momentum. But clearly, this is a correction, right? We can't forget about that. This is still a large impulse to the upside. We're just taking a long term to correct. And you can see there is small lower time frame correction giving you further bias, right? We push to the downside and then we pretty much reverse impulse, correction, impulse, all of this channel, and looking like we're forming another channel before we go, right? There is small lower time frame here. So all these price action is really strong bullish price action. There's really no sell in my eye, at least so far in this kind of how what I'm seeing here. And we just have to be able to capitalize on it when you see something like this, right? We can't be fear of losing, right? There's fear of missing out, and the other side of that is fear of losing. So when you backtest enough, when you see these kind of price action over and over again, the next time you see something like this, you are going to execute a trade. Bitcoin Cash. I didn't take a look at Bitcoin Cash, but let's take a look. But it's very similar idea. We break to the upside, looking like we're forming continuation. If we really zoom out here, this is a larger correction that price was in. Right, we had this impulse, correction, impulse, and eventually impulse out of this larger kind of parallel channel, and we had a pullback or a kind of a deeper correction before we push to the upside. We break this previous high now, and we're forming continuation correction. I think that's a good time to be looking for something. Okay, I do think this is looking very clear for a continuation as well. So if you're looking for buy, certainly this is a good time. Very similar, like very good bullish price action to be looking for a further continuation, in my opinion. So this is also something I'll keep an eye on moving forward as well. Dot USD, let's talk about this. Uh, I was looking at this. I didn't get in this position, but I was looking at this potential buy. I like how we break out this consolidation, impulse, correction, impulse, and looking like we have a sharp retracement before a move to the upside. So that's really showing very good price action, in my opinion. We continue to push the upside, and now we're forming a deeper correction. So I do believe a deeper correction here will continue the price. So keep an eye on this, and we have been pushing up pretty massively, right? And I do expect price to eventually break this high and continue upwards. So this is a good time to be looking for these crypto buy, in my opinion. Most of them are en route to break the high, or if not all-time high, and continue upwards. Ethereum certainly is one of them. Ethereum, I've been talking about this for quite some time now. Um, we break all-time high, right? We break the all-time high, and I said look for a continuation. This is always how price will react. If we form continuation, we're likely to go. It's not as impulsively as what we have seen a couple months, but we're still breaking all-time high, which is the first sign, right? Most crypto haven't break all-time high. I think most, if not all. It's only Bitcoin. It's only Bitcoin that break all-time high and Ethereum, but there's a lot of crypto that's en route to break all-time high. And obviously, Bitcoin and Ethereum are one of the bigger, if not the biggest, event. And if they're en route breaking all-time high in continuation, I definitely see other crypto doing the same. Yes, I'm going to talk about Litecoin. But that's why I see Ethereum. Definitely see more further upside if we just get continuation, and then we're going to go up further. Link, talk about this one as well. We break all-time high, and then we break this. We continue with the continuation correction. So I think there is further buy opportunities. It's just a little bit messy. I don't like these kind of pullback as much. I think there's cleaner price action like Litecoin, which is what I'm going to talk about now. Litecoin is looking very clean, right? We formed this larger kind of a pennant correction from this previous buy, and we push up. We form a continuation correction, which is the first valid buy in my opinion. So price continue breakout. We passed previous high now. Can we form continuation here to go? Definitely see once that we break this previous high. We're still breaking high pretty impulsively, so I do expect this to continue higher. It's just that this is a previous high that you want to watch out for, but the safer entry is just wait for this impulse to break above and followed by correction. You don't have to buy here now, in my opinion. You rather wait for a price to give you a better buy opportunities, which is breaking above that and continue. And I expect this to hit all-time high, if not higher. Again, see, some of the cryptos are faster. They're en route now, right? They're en route to break the all-time high. Some may only be here or here. They're a little bit slower, but they're all going to be following the leader, right? We're all going to see that when we see Bitcoin breaks all-time high, we're just going to continue upwards. So let's continue to Neo. Neo UST. Remember, my buddy, one guy from my group got in from here and still holding it. So very good trade if you're holding it. This was the initial analysis. He told me that he followed. We wait for a price to break out for this larger correction, and then we form a continuation correction. He got it on the year. And price just continued to upside, which is good. So you're still hitting this profit, which is good for you. And now if because we formed this continuation correction, so if you're holding it, great, because it looks like we're just breaking above now, right? I mentioned wait for price to break this if you haven't gone in, wait for this correction. We push the price up to the upside. Wait for a continuation here would be ideal for further buy. And if we look at the higher time frame, we're breaking above this previous high now, which is great. Expect price to continue higher and look for more continuation. This price has been much, much higher as well, right? It wouldn't phase me. We see a big scoop from the price, and we just continue higher and higher from this point forward. Okay, so definitely see something here is very good. Good valid buy here in my opinion as well. So good job on your part. Look to hold the trade longer if we see more further bullish price action here. Thank you for sharing my thoughts. Yeah, no problem. That's I enjoy doing it. So let's continue. Let's continue to a couple other ones. OMG is doing well as well. I do want to update this one. When we see a bullish strong push to the upside, but when we see a larger correction, this is more descending in nature rather than a continuation correction to push lower. And when I say this, I expect price to either make a price to the low or break up to the top. So we break to the top, there was a small correction. We started going up more and more now. So I do expect a deeper correction here now that we already pushed up to this top and looking to see what price will do if we break this previous high. I think it's important to understand that this is also a small scoop when we're inside the bigger scoop formation. Again, price is so much higher or has been so much higher. I do expect this to continue to higher and higher and go. Okay, so that is what I see on OMG. And last one I want to touch base on, or last two I want to touch base on, one is Stellar. I still have good bullish price action when I see for Stellar. You can see that price has impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse out, kind of a pennant structure, pennant correction, with impulse out breaking the previous high. And then we're seeing a similar kind of pennant structure, similar like this. It's just a smaller, sorry, it's a bigger correction than something like this, but it's still a correction in my opinion. I would look for a breakout from this pennant followed by a correction to look for a further buy. Um, Price has again been much higher. We're seeing the scoop now. We're seeing this push to the upside. This is the initial incline. I want to see price eventually hit the top, if not break higher. All right, so that is Stellar. Last one I want to touch base on is Ripple. Ripple is, I wasn't really interested in Ripple after this, or after the sharp move to the downside. I was looking at this when we broke out from here, but it had this sharp move to the downside. I wasn't really interested, but until I start seeing bullish price action, we have a bullish trade impulse, and looking like we're forming like that triangle or pennant kind of structure, looking for further breakout. And once you can break this previous high, then I expect further. All this was resulted from all this SEC news. But if we look at a higher time frame, if we just ignore all this pushback, price has been in this kind of a wedge or falling channel for a while, and I've been talking about a potential buy opportunity. I was looking for a buy. In fact, I took a buy here. I took a loss here when I see price like this. This was the original structure I had. We had a push out for this correction after this impulse, and I looked for a buy opportunity here. But that's when the news came in and take me out. But looking at this now, looking at all this SEC news and how much price has already recovered that, I do expect further opportunity here if we get these kind of bullish price action to form and give us confluence for the buy. Any question here, guys? Any question here? I'll go through some of these that you guys asked. Dash, yeah, let's talk about Dash. So Dash also push up very aggressively, so which is great, right? I don't know if any of you guys got into Dash, but I certainly was looking at it somewhere here, if I recall. Yeah, I certainly was looking at it way long ago. Was looking for a potential buy, but think I just managed to got out here or something like this was a while ago. I can't remember July. Yeah, but anyways, price has already massively inclined to a upside, right? If we look at the higher time frame, this is all I see. But let's see if we have seen price has much higher exactly. So we have seen price much higher before. And again, we're breaking out of this period consolidation period of correctional phase, and we have been to a lot further upside, if not the highest point. So I do expect something to happen here. I do expect price to at least form further continuation, and then we're going to get further upside. I like how this is again in the beginning of this potential scoop formation that we're about to see, uh, potentially looking for further upside if we break above these key levels. Right? You bought Dash 120. Good job for you. Nice, nicely done. So looking to hold long term or short term, not sure. But to be honest, most of the crypto is really en route to get that bullish move, right? So just make sure you manage your trade accordingly, right? Cryptos are volatile, of course. So ATOM USD. So it looks like this bullishly pushed the upside as well. I didn't have this on me, or I just not on my watch list. But if we look at closely here, it's pretty much similar price action. We break. This is the previous low. We bounce off of the previous low correction, and we impulse all of that. And then certainly most crypto are going to form that continuation. Look like that's what it's doing now as well. So wait for a correction here. Wait for something like this, and wait for a continuation. Okay. 88. Yeah, I can go over 88 again. 88, just looking for a continuation, right? Looking for a continuation here. We already break above that $1 price, which is kind of the previous swing high area, and but we break it above it pretty impulsively, pretty bullishly. So I expect a lower time frame continuation here, and I expect to take the next buy. Right, very similar, very smooth price action. I was in this trade as well, got out already here, but looking to get back in. I think there's no problem getting back into this. That's two more confirmation I have. One is the breakout, one is the lower time frame continuation, and I want to see what price will do when we hit um, to that all-time high here. And if not, break above, right? Cardano is on the run, so that is what I say on Cardano. Couple other ones, ZCUSD. Very similar, right? Very similar kind of price action. We have been this potential period of consolidation. Price has already begun this kind of a scoop formation, right? We have been much higher as well, and price looking like we break above, right? We're having a correction, and we impulse out of that correction. So naturally, be looking for continuation and go. And most of the crypto is going to be look very similar like that, right, guys? It's just about picking the right one or picking up the one that has good risk reward and go from there. So, yeah, ZC looks pretty similar. Yeah, price has been much higher, right? Which is the good part about this is that we can potentially see a full recline from it. Morrison, I think you have a very good point here. Um, it's very likely because everyone is more people accepting what's happening in crypto, or more companies, more businesses, more countries are accepting what's happening in Bitcoin. I mean, in crypto, and this is why the crypto is rallying. Obviously, Bitcoin is the head, but every other coins we're looking at is moving, right? Every other coins we're looking at is moving up, right? So it's but that is the nature of the price, guys. Remember, we're always going to see that initial incline, and we're going to see a huge decline of it, and there's going to be a period of consolidation, period of correctional phase, and then we're going to resume. And once we break that all-time high, it's just likely to continue higher. We have seen that in any kind of markets. It's not just crypto. We see that in Forex. We see that in commodities. We see that in pretty much any type of markets. That's just the nature of the nature of the market that it goes through, right? So we're just all of us are in a fortunate position to be in this early stage of crypto, right? You give it another 10, 20 years, it might be a different story now, but in my opinion, we're at the right time and the right stage um, to be getting into these. Okay. BNB. Yeah, I someone talk about Binance coins going up. Yeah, certainly see that and certainly see the right price action why it's going up, right? So we're pushing up to the upside now. So again, this looks like a sharp push down, but really it's just a bullish push up. It looks like it's a bullish continuation. Wait for price to break the high and continue higher. It's pretty simple, in my opinion, seeing this kind of price. There is no bearish kind of price action, in my opinion. There is just a bearish pullback, but doesn't mean it's a trend change to go down. Instead, what I see here is, if you look closely here, inverse head and shoulder, we push the upside looking for a continuation flag to continue and a bigger head and shoulder as well. So multi-time frame analysis is key to identifying these kind of price and identifying the edge for us to be able to capitalize on something like this. Any lower time frame? Sorry, I can't pronounce USY. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. I don't want to pronounce it wrong. I always see you, so I apologize, buddy. What I see is anytime lower time frame. I don't see that yet. I don't see this as a continuation. I was more looking for a deeper correction because we break something significant. So I think anything 1 hour here. At least I want to see a top, at least two swing highs and two swing lows, right? Remember I talk about when I say structures, I want to see two swing highs and two swing lows. I just don't see this getting ready yet, to be honest. I don't see that getting ready yet. I just want to see a little bit more development here would be more better. Something like this or something like this. Something in terms of these kind of size will be significant enough, in my opinion. And looking for a further buy from here. So let's see. Okay, so last thing I want to touch base on, I have no other question in crypto, guys. I'm going to go to indices. I want to talk about indices for a second. I want to talk about potential setups here for the US indices. So let's talk about Dow Jones, right? Dow Jones here is something I'll be looking at. Personally, I'm looking for a sell, right? My bias is a potential sell. I've been looking at this for months now. Those of you who follow me in my groups, I've been talking about all these US indices for a really long time now. So what I'm looking for is lower time frame development. Okay, lower time frame here. Is it forming something here? To me, it's looking like a head and shoulder. We're getting to the top now. We're getting to the top of the overall price. Can we get bearish kind of confirmation to break out? This is again a key area now to watch out for. Okay, most of these US indices are going to be the same. Look at S&P 500, very similar idea here, right? Very similar. I'm just expecting this ascending channel to complete. If we look at previous past, we have seen them all over the price, right? We have seen them all over the price before they show us, they indicate to us before the next bearish drop. So in my opinion, something could happen here, okay? It's whether or not they're ready. This is the key to be patient is that yes, we see a head and shoulder. Yes, we know we're in this ascending channel, but are we getting enough bearish confluence to look for a sell right away, or we want another push down followed by a correction? I think here is a little bit too early to jump the gun. I would prefer entry like this. I would prefer the best entry to be here if we break out. Okay, so there's a few possibilities. So it's all about what price develop here, how sharp or how strong of momentum I see from the market for me to look for a position here or look for a position out of the correction. So similar idea here on NAS, right? Looking even better because again, we see these ascending channel happens before, and whether or not they complete today, it's another story, but we see them happen a lot. We see how the price gets there, right? We always see these corrective kind of price action rather than impulsive, right? We see ascending channel, push to the downside, looking like a continuation. Are we going to fiercely break out and then follow by continuation and expect this to turn out into a full-on bearish move and then drop to the lows here? So keep an eye on this. When New York session opens, not likely to move during this time, but it might look for a further bearish move when we get to the New York session when there's more volume and more momentum. Great perspective. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Can you share my Telegram? Yeah, it's all here. Let me show you. Thank you for the education reviews. Hey, no problem. This is what I do every week. Some of you guys are new, so I thought I'd share you guys. Like I do all this on my Trading View and YouTube. So on my Trading View, this is where I do streams 3 times a week, guys. So 3 times a week, you're gonna find stream here. You can see them forever. They're all here, anyways. Okay, so you can see them here, or you can go on my YouTube. I make all the price action videos here. So if you go to my playlist, everything is under tabs, right? Everything I talk about today, everything on price action is here. You can find out about them. And risk management, trading psychology is things I focus on a lot more. So take a look at these videos. And all the stream can be found on YouTube as well, right? YouTube, you can find all my daily streams, market updates, and weekly on here. Or if you want to follow all the content, it's going to my channel, right? So Aries Trading is my main channel. This is where I post all my links, all my analysis, all my educational video, things like that. It's all gonna be here, okay? Dow Jones shows. Do you expect that this time as well? Yeah, I mean, it's really just what happens in this last bit of the price, right? It's still consolidating, right? It's not breaking down yet. Yes, we have some lower time frame confluence, but it may not be ready yet. This is the point about waiting because we're still in this larger ascending channel. Well, let's put this as a lower time frame ascending channel and in a larger higher time frame ascending channel. So correction within the correction within the correction, right? So this is all good price action, right? You want to have multi-time frame analysis. You want to have all the stock confluence on top of each other so that you get a better confluence, a better entry to the lows. Okay, and this is good. It's just, is it ready now? I don't think it's ready now, to be honest. I just want to see just more development for this last bit. If it breaks down impulsively for the correction, nice. I might look for entry like this. I still think I can get good, decent risk reward to the lows. And then if it breaks out, I'm looking for the next continuation. Right, we see price does this before, right? Lower time frame continuation, push down, M style pattern, we push down more, right? When this happened during COVID, we certainly could expect something like this for the price, right? So okay, so I think that is it, guys. I went through all the markets. Anything you guys want me to talk about? Any questions or any pairs you want me to go over? I'm happy to go over some questions or some things that you guys are looking at. Yes, sorry, stocks. Yes, 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 yes. I'm sorry. Yes, let's do those. Yeah, thanks for sub, YouTube, and Telegram. Great, appreciate that. Yes, let's talk about those stocks. I apologize, almost forgot. I appreciate you stay all this time as well, by the way. Appreciate that. Let's look at Amazon. So this is what I see on Amazon right now. I'm potentially looking for something here for a bullish continuation, right? Right now, this is kind of all I see right now. Price has pushed up impulsively, right? This is a clear bullish impulse from the price. And then we naturally going to form continuation, right? This is kind of a pennant or triangle, kind of a correctional phrase. Generally, it's not going up and down more, which is great. Expect price to complete this first, all right? This can just move down, move down, move on, even breaking to this low, but it becomes a correction like this before upside, or we just hit the bottom here and then continue. But that's why for me, it's always about when this correction finishes. If it moves down to the lows, and I'll be looking for a reversal to push up, or at least wait for price to break out of this correction and look for a buy like this. Okay, certainly see further upside on these. So definitely want to look for a long-term investment. For me, for equities, I'm always trading them more long-term approach. I'm not trying to get in. I'm not trying to day trade them. I'm trying to hold them for a longer term. Tesla, I'll go over that as well. Baba. Um, this is kind of what I see, which is interesting because this looks like it's an inverse head and shoulder now. Okay, we had this originally. I was looking for a buy here. I remember this post here. Didn't get in this buy and didn't capitalize or anything like that. But price pushed down, looking like it was going to go lower. But it looks like this is a reversal impulse from this price and a potential inverse head and shoulder. This could be potential continuation. Okay, but not see much yet because I mean, I'm not going to just jump in on this. That's kind of what I meant. I want to see a little bit more development as last bit. This is still a sharp move to the downside. Is this going to just be a reversal impulse to push up, or uh, is it going to be further bearish opportunity, bearish price action if it's going to form bigger correction, or this is continue to form a more ascending channel and then still drop afterwards. WMT, that's Walmart, right? Walmart. So this is what I see on Walmart. We still see this as a very potential bullish run, right? We have pushed to the upside already. I think this is during COVID is somewhere here. And see, price didn't even move that much during COVID time for Walmart. So we still continue to push to the upside, right? This is still a bullish impulse to the upside. This looks like it's a continuation correction for me. Wait for price to break out and wait for continuation, right? We see these continuation structure a lot. So wait for continuation would be nice. BEEV VMAX system. So higher time frame line looks very clean that we're in a bullish run, bullish price action. I meant there's many smaller continuation, which is great. Impulse correction, we push into the upside. This is a strong impulse to the upside. Is there a correction here? No, but at least this ascending channel did not continue downwards, which is great. We break the previous high, which is also good. So I will be looking for a continuation to buy. Last one is Zoom. Zoom, see this as a potential structure for the upside. We push to the upside from the price, and then correction, we push the upside again. So I do see this as a potential continuation. We have pushed out already. There's an inverse head and shoulder. We pushed out of this correction. Great. Look for a continuation here to buy the price. I think that would be nice. Okay, there you go. Those are the 5 stocks. I apologize, I forgot really. So thank you for staying till this time. I learned from watching others too. Tesla, yeah. What I see at Tesla is definitely further upside in my opinion. Um, not looking for any sell to be honest. Personally, I only see buy in this format. Price has already inclined or pushed up on the bottom here. Right, there's several buy opportunity here already. Really, what's going to happen here is just waiting to see what this last bit of the correction structure will do. Is this going to move to the downside? Is this going to complete the structure now before the upside move? I would certainly expect this, right? This is similar price action. It's just a different correction, right? This is independent, kind of a triangle structure. this is more of a channel, more of a flag structure. But all of this is telling you that there is a correction phase in the forming, and we're likely to resume the bullish move. So I do expect that as well. Sounds good, Diego. Nice to see you. So this drop looks more dangerous than COVID. Yeah. Let's continue. Let's continue. Tesla, we went over. Anything else, guys? Anything else you want to take a look? You're welcome, guys. So, yeah. Yeah, I know lately there's a lot of hype about these, but I'm not really convinced yet. Because this looks like a GameStop kind of thing, right? We push the upside and then just a sharp decline already. I don't really like that. When I see these kind of price, I'm not really seeing any bullish price action. This could be something, but again, after seeing what GameStop can do, not really interesting when I see these for equities, especially. There's just too much things going on. I don't really like these kind of price action. This can just decline more and more, right? This can move up and then form a deeper correction and then still go down after. Okay, so I'm not really too interested in these. Same idea here for this one, right? It's all the similar like wheat stocks, right? So we have all these incline, which is good, but I'm not really seeing the bearish yet, right? This push down, unless this is an impulse up followed by a correction, but I don't think this is ready yet, or this can be something like this. So again, correction when correction isn't ready or isn't finished, you can really argue for both kind of directions. And I don't really want to speculate on that too much. I'd rather wait for a little bit more clear kind of price action to get involved in something like this. Tyree, yeah. Did I spell that right? DGP. No, I only look at gold by itself. I don't really look at this. But if you think about it, it's really the same, right? It's pretty much identical price action, right? This is the same kind of push to the upside, and this is the correction that I point out on gold, right? It's pretty much similar price, identical. I was going to say identical. It's the same, right? So TLRY. Yeah, this is the same, right? So again, the initial incline, I mean, initial push up the price did, which is great, but this is all similar like what we see in GameStop, right? When we see this kind of push down, and then price hasn't shown us any further bullish price action here. It looks like we just dropped down, and it looks like we're having more continuation to the downside. Okay, that's just what I see for the price. We have an initial impulse, a reversal impulse down, followed by kind of a continuation. And this looks like we're going lower and lower. Okay, so that's something that I see for now. I guess that's the point, right? This kind of the hype pushing up and then the sell down like this. No problem, buddy. DC, yeah, I can look at that. Sorry, I missed that last time. Because this is different than Dow Jones. This is like the first time looking at this. What's the difference between this and this? I'm just curious. Well, I want to see if there's potential something here, but I'm not seeing that at the moment. I can also argue that this is also a ascending channel moving up, or you can also argue that these has been a bullish move to the upside. Okay, so um, yeah, because usually I just stick with the actual index. Like I don't think this is, well, I guess it is, but usually we look at this, right? So the price is a little bit different, right? If you look at any other Dow Jones variance, it's gonna be something like this right now, right? It's not the one that you show me. So look for the actual US indices. They're going to be better to trade, I think. So yeah. Well, VIX for me is going to be opposite S&P, right? So I'm looking for a bullish move from VIX now, right? S&P I'm looking for bearish. We see this kind of price action. We see this on OMG, right? If we look at OMG here, OMG had this kind of push up and then push down, and then kind of a descending structure before the push up, right? And then similar like VIX is the same, right? Push up, push down, and then we have like a descending structure forming. So potentially we can see a push up on the price here. Okay, this is getting to the lows now, which is good because you want price to form also a reversal correction here and then potentially push up the price and go. PLTR. This was looking good, at least from this point. We have a push up, correction, push up, but this M style pattern, double top kind of formation, I don't like that. That kind of showing me that this can be a reversal down. And if I start forming a correction here, we're just seeing a larger head and shoulder pattern to go down lower. Okay, so I don't see any bullish price action on this one. Um, Anything else here, guys? Anything else you want me to take a look? I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. It's about almost an hour and a half. Unless you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer any questions. Like I said, I went all through all my platforms on YouTube, TradingView, and Telegram. So if you like these kind of streams, I do them 3 times a week. I do them during I'll do a weekly outlook and I'll do 2 daily updates throughout the week. So I'll try to do 3 streams per week. Okay, guys? I try to do them in 3 different time zone as well. So weekly outlook, I'll always try to do it in this kind of Asia session time. And I'll do a New York session and a London session, market update, and things like that throughout the week. So yeah, nice to see familiar faces and nice to see some new people. So join me those, and we'll obviously we have group, right? We always discuss things in our group. So feel free to join with us. And I think that's it. I think that's all I wanted to touch base on. So what do I see now? Well, like I said, I am looking carefully for pound kiwi. I wanted to potentially get into pound kiwi again. Looking for a solid correction here would be nice. I'll be looking for a sell, first target and then second target, something like this. I think that would be awesome to scale in the trade. And this trade will go down here to further. So in one bearish move, I can potentially get a lot of profit. Also looking at Pound Aussie, right? Pound Aussie looking for something to develop here. And really no other couple ones that are on my watch. I think there's a few Aussie pairs that are looking potentially good that we could get in. And that's about it. And then looking like dollar is going to continue its weakness. So expect a lot of dollar to continue to drop. And that will fuel other things as well. Okay, the yen pairs are also looking losing strength from yen perspective, right? So looking bullish on the yen pairs, but meaning yen's losing strength in that sense. So hey, no problem, buddy. Feel free to ask me in the ebook channel as well. I know you have my ebook. You can ask questions there as well. I know you've been asking, so that's a good place to ask as well, buddy. How to get out of those hype up stocks? Just cut losses now and get the capital back to work. To be honest, usually what will happen is if you're in those stocks, you'll sell them now and then you'll get whatever remaining back. And then when price resume to your buying price, maybe years down the road, you might get unhappy or you might get you might get you might get emotional about it. I don't think too much about it. If you cut loss on those stocks or GameStop, things like that, just sell them and take your profit and then, I mean take your money back and trade somewhere else, right? Put the money somewhere else in other brokers, in other accounts. I think that's better, right? If your money is stuck in those, it's not going to do much for you, right? So looking like these Aussie pairs are pushing up now. Expect the Aussie CAD, Aussie Swiss pushing up, Aussie Yen pushing up, CAD Yen pushing up, Euro Aussie dropping, Euro Kiwi dropping. Uh, be looking at Pound Aussie. This might take off without me now, but looking like if it doesn't form correction where I want it to, then look like this can slowly drop down. But I am in Pound Kiwi, so I'm fine with that. Looking for a correction here for the sell. Other than that, not much on gold or silver. Not much still needs a lot of development. Indices we talk about. I'm looking for a potential sell from the US indices, looking for a little bit more confirmation. And of course, if they all shape up, I'm only gonna get into one of them, not all three of them. Other than that, looking at Cardano, looking for potential bullish continuation after we break up the previous high. Bitcoin still running good, still looking to see if it's going to form deeper correction here. I think Doge is potentially breaking up as well if we form this continuation here, which is good. Stocks going up, Ethereum, Litecoin's okay, and Neo was probably the best one that I missed. I didn't get into this, but someone did, so good on your part. And that's about it. Stellar is also one I'm looking at, just looking for a potential breakout from this pennant structure and then looking for a potential buy. You're welcome to ask some. I'm gonna be finishing up in a couple minutes, so good. Nice to see you guys. Nice to see you guys. So that's about it, guys. That is about it. Any other questions, guys? What about cable today? Well, I was looking at cable here. I was potentially looking at cable for looking at if it's going to complete a structure here, right? I'm only looking for potential downside. If that doesn't happen, then obviously no trade for me, right? If we're going to stick to the dollar weakness, then this may not be valid after all. But I was talking about this in my group, in my Telegram, that if this is the ascending channel correction and we get this ascending channel within the larger channel, that's at least good confluence, right? And we're not just going to blindly sell here because we see some candlesticks. We want to see price action to develop, right? So if this completes ascending channel, we push down, followed by a correction. This could be a first entry, making an inverse head and shoulder. And if we break out the higher time frame structure, look for a bearish continuation. Okay, so that's my approach to look for a sell. If all this doesn't happen, then prices continue going up, then no trade for me, right? I move on to other opportunities. But this is one of them that would be something if it turns into a bearish price action. If it does not, then that's fine. Move on to other pairs, right? Cosmos. Oh, wait. Oh, we talk about this one, right? Yeah. Well, looking like it's going to for a continuation, right? We see continuation already from the price, so expect this to continue going higher. This is a correction phrase, correctional channel that the price is in. Expect correctional phrase to finish, and then look for further upside. ADOT, that's not Forex, is it? Aussie Kiwi. Now I'm gonna watch this. I didn't really like all these kind of just impulses phrase. I'm not seeing a correction. Usually we want to see a correction after an impulse so we can get in, right? This is a confirmation. All these move, like you have a move to the downside and then we have a move to the upside. I'm not really seeing much. I'm not sure if you're looking at a buy perspective. If the buy we're getting close to the top, I usually don't like that. I'm not seeing a sell either because just looking at this higher time frame is a little bit all over the place, right? You have an impulse up, you have an impulse down, you have an impulse up. There's no continuation correction, so the price is a little bit erratic. To me, I don't want to jump into anything. I don't even see a structure here yet. What I want to preferably to see is if it's going to continue corrective up, maybe form some sort of ascending channel and then drop. That would be nice to see a double top to form here. But if that doesn't happen, then I'm not really seeing much here. So, then just look at Polka Dot, right? I was looking at Dot as well. So I think Dot is just further upside, right? So very similar like this, hopefully. We push the upside now. So looking like this is going to form a deeper correction. Let it form a correction here and look for further upside. Something like this or something like this. Yep. I think that's it, guys. I think that's it. Any other questions? I'm gonna be wrapping up here. We'll be wrapping up here pretty soon. I think I'm pretty much done. It's all about how long. It's a lower time frame correction, right? So anything under 4 hours, 1 hour, you're just looking for the similar price action, but it can take. This is why we're not 100% sure what correction or what how long will be, right? This is only thing about trading is we can't predict what kind of correction will form, but we know that after a strong impulse after, if there is a consolidation phrase, if there's at least few swing highs and few swing lows, we can expect a correction to form. But you can see all of them are going to be different sizes, different format, different formation, but it's all telling you the same, right? We're still going to be impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse followed by another correction. So yeah, that is it, guys. All right, everyone. So I done here. Yeah, so I'm done out here, guys. Do you close your currency pair before Friday? I don't. I don't need to do that. I didn't close my pound Kiwi trade through the weekend. So, in order to capture these longer term run, you just have to hold through weekend. There's no exception about it. Okay, I know some people don't like that, or at least some prop firms don't like that. This is why I trade my own capital. I have the freedom to trade whatever I want, right? If there's a lot of rules, a lot of regulation or restriction in place, you might not be able to capitalize the entire run. Because in order for this run to happen, it's not going to be happen in 1 week. It likely to take a few weeks to complete. I want to be able to hold through the positions, right? So, sorry, is it free or a course? What do you mean? Everything I do here is free. You're watching it now, right? So, watch on my week. Go on my YouTube, TradingView, and Telegram. They're all free information and contents. All right, everyone. So I'm gonna wrap it up here, guys. I'm gonna wrap it up here. If you're new, feel free to join my Telegram. Feel free to follow me on these platforms. You get all my information on TradingView, on YouTube, on Telegram. Okay, so feel free to ask me questions. I have group chat on there as well to answer questions. But I will see everyone next time in my next stream. I will do a stream in the New York session, market update. So that's a day and a half from now. So I'll see you guys all there. And enjoy your week. Enjoy the beginning of your week, and chat with you guys soon. All right. Thank you very much, guys.